friends in the fight against human trafficking. I won't mention anyone else. I have zero interest in greeting anyone else who isn't here to fight human trafficking, but just to satisfy their curiosity or figure out how they can join the business we are resolved to destroy, human trafficking. On behalf of the DFA and the Interagency Council Against Trafficking, thank you for taking part in the 6th Manila International Dialogue on Human Trafficking. Far worse than a health issue, the COVID-19 pandemic has wiped out jobs for Filipinos locally and abroad. Not only are they jobless, but unlike the rest of us still lucky to be earning, they are completely vulnerable to infection and worse. Jobless, they are completely defenseless against it. In their desperation, they will take any offer of employment and deployment, even if it smacks of what it is, human trafficking. They figure that maybe they won't be one of those who fall into the worst cases of human trafficking. Yeah, sure. Just like how we moved to online networks to contain this pandemic, today's human traffickers have gone digital to cast a wider net for more victims and more willing victims of their infernal trade, because they have no choice but to take almost surely losing chances. These traffickers dangle fake promises of easy earnings in the full and happy knowledge that in the present dire circumstances, their targeted victims will settle for and expect and even willingly take on much worse, anything to escape starvation for themselves and worse yet, their families. Not just women now, but more and more kids. There is a market for those in the sick West. In this pandemic, DFA, with its Philippine embassies and consulates abroad, has repatriated over 277,000 overseas Filipinos, a lot of them victims of human trafficking. Now they are being lured back to the hell from which we snatched them at great cost and risk to ourselves. But we don't care, because that is our job and our duty, even as it is our mission to end human trafficking and destroy human traffickers. Believe me, this trade has no exculpatory roots in socio-economic conditions. The perpetrators are not also victims, like their victims are, as the usual social nonsense goes these days. At the Munich Security Conference I attended 2 years ago, the German expert clearly proved that human trafficking is a flat-out demonic business. It is consciously engaged in for the money. And yes, he said, they do it also for the pleasure of doing a job the traffickers are very good at. His presentation silenced all the so-called, frankly hypocritical do-gooders in the conference. What do you do with evil? You destroy it. We cannot fight human trafficking alone. We need civil society and international partners in this fight. Events like today allow us to gather the like-minded and stout-hearted to join us in this fight, to help each other spot the enemy and put them down before they drag down more innocents in their disgusting trade. Coincidentally, this Manila International Dialogue is aligned with the 23rd objective of the Global Compact for Safe, Orderly, and Regular Migration, of which the Philippine New York Permanent Mission of the UN was a prime mover. I was head of this mission, so this is personal. We don't just hope, we insist that today's discussions be fruitful and not a waste of time. There is little enough time for timely rescues of victims to waste any more time on talk. You're here, we're here, we're together. In the words of Kung Fu Panda, enough talk, let's fight.